Okay, so you guys decide to have a baby together. You get pregnant. At what point do problems start to arise in the relationship?
There were red flags before, but I thought he was young. I thought that, I'm dating someone 6 years younger than me. I used to talk to my sister all the time because she is the same age as him, in that same type of mindset. So I would kind of pick her brain a little bit. And I thought, hey, I'm signing up for someone younger, almost like a Simba, like there's going to be some growing pains, some obstacles. It's almost like you are kind of trying to teach them how to be the man that you need them to be. And it was just a lot. I thought the first time was the last time. I thought we were on the same page. I was always honest with him from the moment I met him. So as we were experiencing these red flags, the same reasons that we had problems in the beginning ended up being the same reason that I left. I was just hoping along the way, maybe it would just click for him. Because you have to give them grace. You know what I'm saying? If you are dating someone who's a little bit younger, older, whatever their situation, you do want to give them grace. Because at 22 years old, you're not really knowing exactly how to process your thoughts, feelings, emotions. And when you're fighting and when you're angry, you do different things. You lash out. You don't feel worthy, so you do things to self-sabotage that relationship. So I thought I was just being patient and I was being understanding because I knew his behavior was not a direct reflection of me and what I lacked as a woman. But there was a lot of things in his upbringing with his parents that we were trying to unlearn together that I felt like ultimately, we become sometimes the things we judge the most.
Well, I mean, the things you also notice is that couples seem to break up a lot after the baby comes, because that's when it gets really real. Like at that point, it's not just we're here because we like each other. It's like, okay, now there's another human being that will die unless we are completely and totally committed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's life or death. We can't just leave town for 3 days and have a vacation. We'll come back to a dead baby. You know what I mean? Like this is now serious, right? And the woman is going through hormones. Women go through postpartum depression. Their bodies change, and the sex life might not have been what it is after the baby comes and so forth, and the fights get more severe. Did the breakup actually happen soon after the baby, or was it kind of during the pregnancy?
There was a lot that happened when I was pregnant. And when I found out, he told me to get the fuck out of our house when I was 7.5 months pregnant. So there was a lot that happened that I felt like I had nowhere to go. I felt like, where am I going to go? I'm 7.5 months pregnant. And on top of that, I'm not working. And I couldn't really function. I had pregnancy was very hard for me. I can't imagine having to, I don't even understand how women are able to work while life is developing inside of them. It is draining. Like when my mom told me she working jobs full time, girl, I need a M&M McFlurry and I need to watch Lifetime with my feet up on the ball. Like I can't do that. So yeah, there were things that happened when I was pregnant that I probably should have left for, but I tried so hard to fight for my family. And I'm like, maybe I can forgive him again this time because I forgave him last time, and maybe he's just stressed about being a new dad and he's scared and all of these excuses, which his feelings were still then valid. But I overlooked a lot in the beginning, the middle, and then towards the end. I just had enough. So yeah, it wasn't even, the baby's here now, all these problems are out. My family can tell you, it was like a roller coaster ride with him. It was a roller coaster ride with him. And it would be great, then it would be horrible. Then it's we're fighting, then it's come get me. Then it's get the fuck out, then it's I love you. Then it's I want another baby, then it's like I can't stand the sight of you. Toxic. So it wasn't the
So you
baby.
got-
Our baby wasn't the reason we broke up. There was dysfunction in that relationship.
Yeah. So you got kicked out of your house at 7.5 months pregnant.
We ended up having a conversation, but I had to call my mom to come get me, yes. Told me to get the fuck out and pack all my shit. But of course, nobody hears about that. This is actually my first time even really saying that. But yeah, I mean, he tried to kick me out because of things that he got caught up doing. And again, here I am, pregnant as fuck. You're talking to my belly, rubbing my belly. Like, we're in our minds, when we knew we were having a son, immediately we were going to name him a third. Paul Jermaine Washington III. So, like, you're doing all of this stuff. You have me in your house, like, wouldn't get married and all these different things. We're playing, what was the game that we played at Christmas? The Wii. We were playing the Wii. We were playing card games. We were playing Family Feud. Like, you're doing all of this and you still were fucking off on me? When you knew, like, from the jump, I've been 10 toes devoted to you, moved across the country for you. Like, it blew my mind. So I can't even sit here and be like, yeah, our baby just was the demise. No, it wasn't. Our baby was a blessing. It just, for me as a woman, I got tired because I'm like, I'm doing a lot. I need help. You're not being as supportive as I need you to be. And that's when my mom really stepped in and helped us. I don't know where I would be if my mom was not helping me. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a roller coaster because you got this 22-year-old who has been spending his entire life trying to get to the NBA and has been,
coddled. Let's just say coddled. Yeah, you have a lot of money. You've been coddled. You're spoiled. You've never been through anything. And then when you get caught up, you want me to get the fuck out with our son in my stomach. Like, how do you want me to? How do I respect someone like that? Honestly, I like, how do you respect someone that you are carrying life for and then they want you to get out?
Well, if you got kicked out of 7.5 months, a month and a half later, you have the baby. Sometimes that brings the people, the family back together again. I mean, once he saw the baby and the baby's named after him and everything else like that.
They don't care.
Did you guys? No?
Men don't care. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to say men don't care. That's not true. It doesn't, I would say pregnancy impacts people differently. You're naturally going to feel differently when you 9 months are carrying a child. And I think a lot of fathers probably could say, I almost feel useless in the beginning because especially if you're breastfeeding, you feel like, well, my son wants his mom. He's breastfeeding all the time. Like, I don't have breast milk. So a lot of in the beginning, my son was really with me all the time because I was breastfeeding the first 2.5 months. So I feel like there's almost not a detachment, but it's like this, even though this is your son, it's still virtually a stranger. You're still going to have to get to know them, especially being a young person. Like, oh my God, now I have a child that when I look at him, I see myself, So I'm sure it was probably very overwhelming. And I think it was very scary, like a big awakening for him. Like, okay, now I have a kid and I can't play around. And still, it didn't overall, I don't believe it changed his behavior for the better.